Okay, guys. Welcome to Grue, Jason. Welcome back to Grue, and thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Definitely, yeah. It's been a while since we talked and you were on the show.
I think like 2 years, maybe.
Yeah, it's probably been about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What were you
Okay.
talking about then? Insatiable or something?
I don't remember. White culture? Insatiable? One of
I
those.
think it might have been that. I think it might have been that. Yeah.
One of those two.
It was one
One of my many things, you know.
So, Frank, I actually wanted to start out with you. I want to find out what inspired you to want to write and make this great web series that you have out.
Nothing. No, thank you. So
Nothing.
nothing. Next question.
That's great.
No, so yeah, Open to It for the uninitiated is a queer comedy series about a couple experimenting with being open and the silly, sexy situations that arise. And yeah, what inspired me was like I'd seen a lot of web series that I really enjoyed, but that I felt like dramatized the idea of having a threesome or an open relationship. And like I appreciate those takes, but I feel like I've seen the sort of heavy, dramatic, sad version enough. And I was like, I want to do one that's kind of just like fun and funny and silly and sexy. And I think like there's also this conception sometimes that you can't be funny and sexy at once, but everyone in the cast proves that you can. So
Yeah, that's true.
sure do.
And Jason, like what drew you to the role?
He paid me.
Perfect.
I almost answered for you, and I was like, he's gonna say it. I don't need to.
No, actually,
that always makes everyone want to do work when they get paid.
I think what drew me to it was kind of a little bit of what Frank was saying. It's so many times in especially LGBTQ media, we see the same stories over and over again.
Mhm.
And Frank had this fresh perspective that I hadn't seen, and it was funny and it didn't take itself too seriously, which I appreciated because I mean, not that these stories aren't valid anymore, but we see a lot of like the coming out stories, the being kicked out stories, the tragedy of being gay. And in this specific series, everyone's just gay from the start. It's not a big deal. It's just who they are. And the comedy comes from the miscommunication in these relationships, as opposed to an individual's identity, which I really liked. So it was a new perspective on being part of the LGBTQ community that I enjoyed because it was just light and campy. And I think that we deserve to tell those stories too.
Oh, definitely. And
He's never said this to me. I should bring him on more podcasts. I'll get so many compliments.
Am I being paid for this?
Yeah. Ask your agent.
Right. Hello? I'm kidding.
He knows he's not being paid.
I know, I'm fully aware.
Yeah, no, you're right though, Jason. Like there's a lot of shows out that focus on the coming out and like the actors playing that are bullied or coming out or fighting with their parents because the parents don't accept them. So I mean, we've seen all those stories, and now it's time for something fresh.
Exactly, something a little bit more lighthearted. I mean, there's still a little bit of bullying in the show, but it's not about not about being gay.
Jason's character never gets treated as well as he wants.
About being boring.
Just a little light bullying every now and
then. A little light bullying. In a fun way.
It's what gay series would it be if there weren't bullying and shade? Come on.
Exactly.
And I apologize if the video or sound is a little off. My laptop went down on me earlier.
That happens in the show too, actually.
Yeah.
Does it? Was I in that scene? I've only seen my scenes. I have not seen any of the rest of the show.
Okay. Well, you have to watch your scenes to know if they're good or not, right?
Exactly.
There was a time when that was true, actually, when I was like, and I offhandedly mentioned, I was like, yeah, so Reggie, and he was like, who's Reggie? I'm like, one of the lesbians next door. They're lesbians next door. And to be fair, he never interacted with them in the first 3 episodes, but
okay.
I just wanted to be as true to my character as possible. And I feel like Princeton would not have read scenes that he was not in. So I also did the same. I'm just method.
He wanted to be one with his character.
Exactly.
He did refuse to talk to the women on set, so it makes sense. Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, not those 2 women, all women. So.
All women. Which is very Princeton.
That actually, no, I think he likes
also disclaimer, just a joke. I want to say.
Yeah. Jason loves women. Princeton loves women, if only because they admire him even more than gay men sometimes. So
hey, there you
most
go.
of my friends in real life are women.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't say they admire you, though. I feel like they put you in your place the right amount.
Which I love, which I appreciate.
Again, light bullying makes the world go round.
Agreed.
So, for anyone who hasn't seen the series, can you tell us both who you play?
Yes, so I play Greg, who's one of the main couple that's experimenting with having a threesome for the first time. And his perspective coming into it is he's never done anything like this. His boyfriend Cam is like a little more sexually experienced, so he is very nervous about doing the wrong thing, asking a lot of like silly inane questions like, well, if you're in the bathroom, does the threesome stop? Do I just like hang out till you get back? But then finds that like Princeton makes him very comfortable, and Cam is like a little bit goading too. So he kind of finds himself going from noob to slut very fast, and like to his own surprise, and finds he needs to like bring it back a little bit. It's like, oh, I slid into that a little too easily, and that can be anything here.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a slut, right?
Absolutely. You just gotta get paid for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that then upgrade from slut to hooker?
As long as it's not cash payments, it's just being alive. So
Okay.
Tell the government that when you're doing your taxes.
I'm not a sex worker, I'm just alive. So
right. Exactly.
A byproduct of breathing air. I play Princeton, and until recently, I thought the show was about me, and I guess it's not. No, I play the 3rd character who comes into the main couple's relationship to kind of like shake things up a little bit. Princeton is their first experience opening up their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like the catalyst that sets off the whole exploration for them. And we see Princeton also grow throughout the series because he becomes so much more than just a 3rd in the couple, which I appreciate. And Frank has written the arc so beautifully, and he's become such a full, well-rounded, realized person. So it's been a fun journey.
No, it's been great working with Jason, because he deserves a lot of credit, because I originally wrote him intending him to be written off after the 3rd episode because they break things off with him. But I felt, first of all, that his arc was unresolved, and then Jason just brought such, joy and humor and heart to the character that I needed to keep him around. So like in future episodes, even when the guys like aren't actively hooking up with him, he has his own storyline. So it's funny because like in a way he actually is the main character of the show. He has like, I think, the most growth for sure, but that's because he starts being the worst. So
right. So the show is about me?
The show's about whoever you think it's about. The lead is in the eye of the beholder.
Right. So me.
So, so Jason, was this like a first for you? Because I know like a lot of your shows you're put into scenes without your shirt or nude scenes, or like was this like your first threesome kind of scene?
You know, I think it was.
Okay.
Oh, thanks, Frank, for opening up a world of possibilities. I think it was. I think it was my first time playing someone who's exploring a polyamorous relationship, which is interesting. Those relationships exist and are valid. So I think they also deserve their time in the spotlight and to be explored in front of thousands of people.
There you go. And how was it like for both of you filming this?
Well, actually, so two-part question, I guess. Like in filming it in general was just really fun because I like, all the actors a lot. Like I didn't know most of them beforehand, but like we just get along very well. Like we hang out a lot outside the show. So it like when you are friendly with everybody and like everybody, it just makes the day fly by. But when it comes to the sex scenes, I also give Jason credit because he had done one or two before, like, and so he kind of was great at like easing the tension because all of us were like, oh my gosh, we're taking clothes off. And he's like, all right, here we go. But in all seriousness, just like,
we've been here before.
Exactly. I think saying the right thing at the right time. Like, I think he's very perceptive at reading people and just seeing if someone's uncomfortable, he'll just have a good joke ready. Like, we're naked now. And like, it's just nobody could take it seriously after that. Our cinematographer, Naisha, is great at stuff like that too. She's like, okay, can we get into wardrobe when we like have to film it with clothes off? Yeah.
Technically it's wardrobe.
It is, that's true. So I think like everybody, and we have an intimacy coordinator, Micah Martinez, who is just he's like done porn before and just like knows how to not only like make it look correct on camera, but also is just very aware of people's comfort levels. So like I'm really grateful for like the casting crew that like everyone takes the sex scenes in particular very seriously, and like we're all kind to each other and gentle and just like, and it looks real, so we must kind of like each other, I guess.
Nice.
I think the content also helped because it was written in such a comedic way that there's really no way to, it's very difficult to try to make it heavier or like it's a sex scene, but also what's happening is ridiculous, what we're saying is ridiculous, the context is ridiculous, so it just made everything flow so much smoother, and made the whole thing so much more ridiculous. I'm just gonna stick to that word.
No, I agree. I think like I remember this one show that I watched on Stars that I did enjoy, but I found that the sex scenes were like very drawn out in a way where I was like, okay, can we move on now past this? So I think Jason's right. Like I definitely, when I'm writing, when I'm acting, like I have a sense for like, okay, the audience is getting bored now. Like let's speed this along, and I think that helps to not have it be too much too long.
Okay.
That wasn't as funny, but it was truthful.
and I'm glad Jason was on set. You said like he brought humor to it, like when everyone was worried about taking their clothes off. Jason's been in that, so he was just like, all right, this is how you do it. That I did like you, Jason, in Demon Hunter, the series, like that was good.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jason.
I think it was this whole thing kind of sounds like it's like, okay, time for the sex scene, let's get naked, and I'm just there like, haha, look at
you. Well, actually, Rocco, I do have a bone to pick with you, speaking of which, because in the post you had for promoting it, it's me on the left and Jason on the right with his shirt off, and one of my friends wrote me, so this is the before and after picture, huh? And I was like,
God.
No.
Yeah.
That's so rude.
Oh no.
Savage. It's okay
Frank,
because he hates himself, but it's still.
You look amazing. You don't need anyone's validation.
I guess. Except yours. Now I feel good.
Yes. Now I feel good. Okay.
You look great.
Yeah.
There are plenty of shirtless pictures that we could post of you where people would say the opposite.
So now I need to find who my after is, who I'm going to put on the left next time I do a crossbow.
That's so bad. Just do Tim.
that's that's so that's especially because Tim has a child now and is like being hard on himself about not working out as much. So you're saying
Tim is our other cast member who is equally as hysterical and fantastic.
And now he's a dad in real life, which is amazing. He's awesome. I don't have enough good things I have too many good things to say about him. I mean, because he's very professional, very funny, very kind, and just very generous actor. Like in the auditions, like obviously I cast them because they're both wonderful. And I don't know, both of them are so like, in addition to like playing awesome characters, are like very giving in their performance, which for me, like I appreciate a lot because I hadn't acted as often as the two of them. So having people who like I felt like brought something good out of me was really I appreciate it a lot.
Oh, okay. So
even when it's not his coverage, Jason is still acting.
I mean, it's not fair if I'm only giving you something when the camera's on me.
But I realized this when I first moved out here, that is a common thing, because one of my friends was acting in a show with Terry Hatcher, who she described as a very generous actor. She was like, and I was like, well, what does that mean? And of course she's very talented. She was like, yeah, but when the camera's off her, she's still acting. I was like, do people not do that? And she was like, oh yeah, all the time. When the camera's not off, they're just, ooh. And I'm like, wow, that's
lazy. It's lazy, and it doesn't bring out the best performance in your scene partner either. And if you don't look good, I don't look good.
Absolutely.
So I don't get it.
See, Jason knows how it is.
The more you know.
I feel like I need a cigarette. Just like I'm doing this for a very long time now.
I can see you as like Zondra from Will and Grace, just having that now.
Exactly.
Is there a certain scene that you both had the most fun with, the most fun filming?
Jason, you go first. I think I have my answer, but I'm curious what you would say.
The most fun filming. You go first. I have a favorite scene. It was not the most fun filming.
Oh, okay. Well, you could say what scene you like best then.
I'll give two. I'll give a sex scene and a non-sex scene. So the sex scene in episode 3, where Princeton and I are in the bathroom during the talent show performance, was very fun for me because our director, Greg, who is like, first of all, also just a joy to be around and very, very funny. And at one point he was like, Frank, I think Jason should slap you. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And he was like, but I want to look authentic. And I was like, okay. And he was like, so I'm going to have him slap you, but I'm not going to tell you when he's going to slap you. Is that okay? Thank you for asking. This is like informed non-consent, I guess, in this case. So, he was just like, so then Jason we were just pretending to do it. And then he just slapped me out of nowhere. And so I'm like, he's like, have this big reaction because I had no idea when it was going to happen. And we actually had to reshoot that scene for a technical difficulty. So both times it was like very prepared. Like, I'm going to slap you. I'm not going to tell you when I'm going to do it.
Oh my God.
I was like, you don't have to tell me twice. I will do it.
He just improvised so much dialogue that like it was definitely one of the scenes where I was having trouble keeping my face straight, because it was I have trouble keeping anything straight, of course, but and then for the opposite of that, I would say in the Christmas episode 9, which will be out like end of this year, beginning of next, like Jason and Tim who plays Cam, they have a very nice, like more dramatic scene where they talk about like what their personal relationship is, just because Greg and Princeton historically get along better than Cam and Princeton do. And I was extremely impressed with what Jason did. It like I rewatched that scene and I actually like tear up because I think it's like so genuine and honest about like the hurt he feels from him. And Tim's character is like not taking him seriously at first because he's a little drunk, and it takes like a little bit of wrangling from Jason to be like, no, listen to me. And like I really enjoy watching that one back.
Oh, that was gonna be my favorite scene.
Oh shoot! No, wait, no, you share the actor's perspective, because I was directing that episode, so I wasn't in it. in that.
That's my favorite acting scene. Just because I felt really connected to the moment. And each time we did it, it got deeper. And part of me was like, I think Frank knows that I'm on the verge of crying. And he's like, let's do it again. I did. I ended up bawling crazy afterwards. My second favorite acting scene is gonna have to be with Victoria.
Yes.
Which we'll meet her character later. I don't know how much of the series you've seen, but Victoria is an amazing actress, and her character Kat. She was also supposed to be just kind of like a one-off.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And then during the table read for her episode, I connected so well with her. I feel that Frank was like, I have to write this somehow.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what went on in my head. You tell me outside, but
nope. Jason told that exactly accurately. What happened was, so Victoria originally auditioned for Elsa and Reggie, and it was one of those things where like I loved her and was like, I need to bring her back for something else because she has such amazing energy. And so she plays a love interest to the women. And the joke of the scene is like that she's not gonna get physical with them the first time they meet, but like she's finding all these ways to be seductive, even so, to the point where like she's then being very seductive eating a strawberry. And she brought a lollipop prop to demonstrate what she would do when filmed. And first of all, we were all laughing hysterically, and I still have those lollipops. But secondly, Jason was just like, hi, I'm Jason. So nice to meet you. And another actor, Dashad, ended up being like, you're gay, you're gay, you're gay. And so honestly, we use both in the show where like he and Kat have a flirtation later, and then Jason and Victoria's characters, they go on a date and have a whole moment just because
she's so magnetic as a person.
Yeah. She really
and
is,
as an actor that I think I was sweating in person in front of her. I met her.
Oh, really?
I was blushing. I was like, what is she doing to me? So I'm really glad that there was a storyline that developed from just like an actual physical interaction outside of our characters. So that's my second favorite scene.
So Victoria Glahoski, you're not gay, you just haven't met Victoria. So now you know.
Yep, she can turn any gay man straight. Or even gayer. I don't get it. I'm working it out in therapy.
You're working it out.
Yes.
She pushes you in one direction. Either you fly straight past by all the way to straight, or you like lean in hard to the gay. It just depends.
Yes, it's and then you want to be her puppy.
Yeah.
It's great. But my favorite scene with you, Frank, is this is going to be out of pocket, but the fisting scene. And it's not because of the fisting. It's because I think we were all, I don't know if you remember that day, but we were tired, sweaty, and it was towards the end of the day. So we were rushing it. So we were like, screw it. Let's just go for it. Whatever happens, happens. And I don't know what happened, but I got really silly. And then just decided to put my feet on Frank's face. And it made it into the series, which
sure did.
But it was a lot of fun amidst the chaos. So that's my favorite scene with you.
I love that. Thank you. And I agree. Like I was really happy with how that turned out, because in rehearsal, I felt like there were parts of that scene I was getting right and parts where I like wasn't quite doing it correctly. And then come filming, it was just one of those moments where Greg especially was good at being like, you have to get this in one take. And we rose to the occasion, and Jason was just, a lot of fun to do that scene with, and it all worked out. Sometimes when you're under pressure, you fist the right way and it looks great on camera.
It's almost better because we can't think about it. We just have to do it. We have 5 minutes.
5 minutes, that was it?
It was that quick sometimes.
Oh my God, really?
And there's something very satisfying to like, what I also remember about that night, because it was the last scene of the night, was after we did the take of it, just they called cut and everybody was laughing hysterically. Like, so I was like, okay, I think we did something good here.
Yeah.
And while filming the series, was there any funny or cool behind the scenes stories that happened?
What has my publicist told me to make up for this?
There have been plenty of nothing that comes. I feel like it's all funny behind the scenes moments
Yeah,
that somehow
it
don't
definitely
end up,
sounds like it.
yeah, and then they don't end up behind the scenes because we catch it on camera and Frank's like, that was funny. Let's keep that in there. I don't know. That was very much the energy of the whole production.
Yeah. I think like what I like that ends up happening every time is, when you're shooting, apparently like I as a writer don't believe in daytime sex because I write like most of the sex scenes at night. So we're shooting like sometimes later into the night, like midnight or 2, and people get tired. And I love that, like, I'm always able to like, okay, I can see everybody's getting tired. Let me like play a song. And so in particular, this for the Christmas episode, I was seeing everyone kind of really tired during one take, and I was like, I'm just gonna play All I Want for Christmas Is You, and we just all had a dance party screaming to the song, and like our cinematographer caught it all on camera. And then the takes after that were amazing. So yeah, I just love that people are comfortable getting silly, and that night was actually nice too. That was our most recent night of filming, and I walked out and just, I think it was, I forget who it was, Jason, you would have to tell me. I think it was like you and Tim and Victoria and Troy all just cuddled under Troy's big yellow blanket. And I was like, this is nice that we're all just so friendly and cold together.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the frigid temperatures. It was Frank's neighbors love him, by the way, shooting way into the night, blasting music at like 2 a.m. They love him.
Yeah. The first 2 episodes we shot for free, and the next 2, they're like, yeah, so how much you paid?
Oh no. Okay.
There was one moment, speaking of neighbors, where we were shooting, I think it was the first sex scene in your bedroom.
Oh, this is funny,
we had the stage lights, the studio lights or whatever, outside shooting into the bedroom. So the window had to be open. And then the neighbor, we're all naked, pretending to have sex.
Mm-hmm.
The neighbor looks in and gets so upset because it looks like we're shooting porn, pretty much. And I think she came outside and started yelling at you guys about having children and leaving the window open. And we were like, oh, well, why are you like in here?
Well, first of all, you got to learn sometime. But secondly, I was like, I remember at first being like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And I was like, hold on. First of all, why is your kid looking into my place?
Right.
It's my place. I can do what I want, but
exactly.
Specifically into your bedroom.
Well, yeah. Why is your child looking into my bed? Apparently, you have not educated the child enough. And anyway,
that was interesting.
Well, they definitely got an eye full of what they saw.
It definitely did.
And again, thanks to our intimacy coordinator, what they saw, I think, was true to life. So at least they weren't learning wrong.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way of teaching them about the birds and the bees, right?
A highly choreographed dance of simulated sex. That'll do it.
The birds and the birds.
Birds and or the bees and the bees, depending. I don't know which is which, actually.
I don't know which.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't know either. That's just the saying they say. I never knew what that meant.
I was just like, oh, bees because stingers, but no.
Yeah, exactly.
Birds have peckers.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah, they do.
Sure do.
This is my little guy over here. He's been trying to get into the frame. So how? Wait, just 1 second.
Yeah.
Stop. Okay. Sorry, I had to get him off of me. Okay. Now, Jason knows
in the show too.
Jason knows how big of a horror fan that I am, and I always like asking guests when I have them on the show, are there any horror movies, Frank, that you like to watch? I know Jason told me what his was.
Yeah, I love Scream. Scream is one of my favorite franchises of all time. We just saw Scream 6 and had a blast.
So
like sometimes, honestly, to just relax, I will watch like the kills in Scream. And the killer kills too. I'm not all about innocent people dying. And right now I'm actually working on a horror comedy because yeah, that's one of my favorite genres out there for sure. Cabin in the Woods. Yeah, there's so many great ones.
And Jason, have you seen any like newer horror films?
The last horror movie I saw was Thanks to Frank. And I don't think it was a horror movie. It was Megan.
Oh yeah, the doll.
Yeah. Because I'm not a huge horror fan. I don't know if you remember this.
Yeah.
So, and that's mainly just because they terrify me. What they're supposed to do. So job well done. So Megan would be the last one that I saw.
Okay. So you don't like watching them, but you don't mind being in them, right? 'Cause I mean, like I said, you were in Demon Hunters and stuff. So you don't mind being in them. You just don't like watching them, right?
Exactly. As long as it takes.
as long as the money is right.
Jason was a very good sport. He was like, I don't like horror, but I'll go for you. But I think it was like a campy, fun enough movie that it was not too
missed like half the movie.
Yeah. I mean,
remember.
Oh, that's right. Because like the popcorn line was forever, right?
Oh
yeah,
no,
so
really?
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go get popcorn, and I left, and I didn't make it back until halfway through the movie.
Oh
and I remember being like, "Are you okay?"
The line was that long?
The line was really long.
Oh my god, that's crazy! You should have told him you wanted your money back.
Okay, everyone else was having a great time.
Okay, there you go.
I did have to whip the audience into shape a little bit. It was like an evening screening and people weren't laughing. And at one point I was like, guys, this is funny. Just laugh. I'm not normally that obnoxious in a theater, but I was like, this is insane. Come on. This is clearly a campy queer comedy. And the audience kind of got excited after that.
Frank's laugh, if you have not heard it, is iconic. It rings throughout the theater. It echoes and vibrates. It's great.
I've been told I am a very hearable audience member, and my roommate Vartan recently negged me where he was like, you know, there's a very specific laugh you have when it's something when you're laughing at something you've written. And I was like,
oh no.
I'll have to listen. And then at first I didn't believe him, and then at one point I was doing it. He was like, "That's it, right there. There it is."
Honestly, that's one of my favorite things about Frank is that Frank is Frank's biggest fan.
Takes one to know one. You're also my biggest fan.
I thought you were going to say I'm my own biggest fan, which is also not a lie.
I know. I did it.
Well, see, you both are your own favorite fans, right?
Yeah, I'm starting to see why this friendship makes sense.
I know. Like just in this moment, I was like, "Oh yeah, the similarities across the board, sure."
So how, like, what did you both do to stay in shape for the series? Because you know there's a bunch of scenes with your shirts off, and what did you guys do to keep up your body, staying in shape? Did you work out a lot, diet?
I did something. So here's what's fine. Tim, who plays Cam, my boyfriend, his husband is a physician. So when I casually bragged about what I'd been doing, he goes, "That's not healthy. Why have you been doing that?"
You told me, and I was like, what?
So I will say I was working out for like a few months before. I was working out 2 hours a day and eating, I'll just say less than normal, because I feel like if I say the calorie amount, I'll be judged again. But it was definitely enough to live on. I felt fine. You get used to the hunger, you know, like they say on Devil Wears Prada.
No,
that's all bad advice. But I will say it was like sort of a crash thing I did for the first 3 episodes, and then for the next 6 I have not had to do nearly that extreme because it's like easier to maintain now. But like, yes, I was going from like, you know, yeah, I had a lot that I wanted to. Anyway, I'm fine. Look at me. I'm fine. I'm here.
You're alive. That's all that matters.
I'm alive.
Exactly.
I'm not doing it anymore. That's all that matters.
Good. I don't think I particularly did anything too different than what I do in my normal day-to-day life.
Yeah.
I'm a very active person. I work out Pretty much every day, just in different capacities.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, I just did what I normally do and ate a lot of protein,
Okay.
an unreasonable amount of protein.
See, so he's unhealthy too when you think about it.
It truly is. My arteries probably hate me, but whatever.
So Jason, I mean, you say you know you eat a lot of protein and you're always at the gym and watch what you eat and everything. So do you have a cheat food that you like to do?
Um, I would say it's not really a cheap food because I have it a lot. My favorite food is, I would have to say, a double bacon cheeseburger is my
Ooh.
absolute favorite, or chicken quesadilla.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, chicken quesadilla. I love that.
Yeah, which is, I guess, it's kind of a cheap food, but it's also like cheating because you're still getting protein and veggies and
Well, that's true. Yeah.
yeah. Luckily, I've never been a huge sweets fan or junk food fan. So those are my cheat meals. I
Okay.
know that sounds annoying and like major alcohol.
Is there a specific brand of each that is your like top?
I really like the chicken bacon ranch quesadillas from Chili's.
Oh, okay, nice.
Ooh.
Those are top notch. And I can't say that I have a favorite double bacon cheeseburger. I think they're all pretty good. Definitely
Yeah.
not from a fast food chain, not because they're bad for you, but just because they never give you enough burger.
I
Oh, that's true.
know.
That's very
Patty's
true.
always like this big and the bun is this big.
Yes.
Pop out.
Yes. Yeah. Like all these fast food places, the burgers are so thin. I'm like, come on, really? I said, where's the meat at? Come on.
It's way
Exactly.
more bun than meat. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a
And
joke.
honestly, that's why I don't do fast food. It's not because I'm trying to be healthy. It's because I'm not getting enough of the unhealthy. You know, it's like I paid $16 for this and there's more bread than meat.
Right? Yes, exactly. Oh my God.
My friends would make fun of me for this in high school too, because like I would like always add things to like when we go out to sandwich places like Subway, like just get the maximum. And he's like, why can't you ever just have ham and cheese? And I'm like, because that's not enough. It needs to be all dressed up.
Exactly. Frank probably has a more exciting cheat meal than I do.
I have a
Okay.
very specific one that I had today. There's this Mexican restaurant my fiance and I love called Salsa and Beer, and we split a fajita burrito with steak or chicken or shrimp, depending. And it comes with like, rice and beans, but they also have free chips, which is hard to come by nowadays. A lot of places will be like, oh, it's $4 for chips and salsa when it used to be free.
Yeah.
So the fact that like they have infinite chip baskets. And unlike Jason, I am a sweets person. So that was the hardest thing to cut out when I was like dieting for the show, was like not having sweets at all, because I adore like cookies, cake, ice cream. So, but the minute we wrapped filming, I had like 3 like giant cookies that I brought for wrap, and then had such intense stomach pain because I've not been eating like that in 2 months. And on the way home with Matt, I was like, I think I'm gonna vomit. I ultimately ended up being fine. I think it was just like really bad gas. But like now I know, like, okay, you gotta ease back into it if you're doing heavy crash diet.
True. Yes.
Not doing anymore.
Which I'm not doing anymore. Well, yeah, we're not filming. I mean, I've learned and I'm a healthy person.
There you go. And, what songs do you like listening to, and what's on your playlist?
I do this thing where like I become obsessed with like one song and kind of listen to that ad infinitum for a while. So like recently on RuPaul's Drag Race, Anitra and Marsha lip sync to Boss Bitch by Doja Cat, and I am obsessed with that song. It's such a good pump up song, and like I actually watch lip syncs a lot like before I write, so that one is definitely like on loop for me right now.
All right. Okay.
I just recently discovered Years and Years' new album.
Oh yeah.
So that's been on repeat for about a week and a half. It's actually insane how many times I've played it. I think everyone at my job is like, please stop, we can hear it. So that at the moment. And then thanks to Coachella, I rediscovered Ash Nico again, and I'm obsessed with her all over again.
Oh, you were at Coachella the last
No, I
weekend?
watched the live stream like all the other broke bitches. But I watched her set live, and it was amazing. I was like, why did I stop listening to her?
Yeah.
And now she's on repeat also.
I know there's nothing like going to a concert to rediscover someone. Like we're going to Christine and the Queens tonight, and the last show she was at performed at was utterly phenomenal. Just like this French pop singer, and the dancers are always phenomenal. So I'm excited. It's an incredible show every time.
Oh yeah. Nice. And if you were gonna do a karaoke song, what would be your go-to song?
I have a video.
Yeah, no, that's right. I forgot you did that.
Of Frank and his go-to karaoke song. Frank, would you like to share?
I want to hear you tell it by all means.
It's out of left field. It's Mulan, right?
Yep. I'll make a man out of you.
I'll make a man out of you. It was a wonderful rendition. My favorite part in the video is that it is interrupted at the end.
Oh.
An audience member who was so into Frank singing that she got on top of her chair and then tried to stand even higher on it and then fell right off of it. And I got it on video. And she just gets back up and keeps singing with Frank.
Because she has friends who catch her, fortunately, but like, yeah, she stands like on the rim of the chair, and you're like, what? That was never going to support a grown person's weight. What are you doing?
It was great. I'm so glad that I caught that on video.
Yeah, I felt she pulled focus a little bit, and I didn't care for that, but regardless. So it's either that. It's either that or I like doing Backstreet's Back, just because it's really good to sing. My fiance and I sing that together, and I've taken to, because I'm so inspired by Laganja Estranja, doing a knee slide at the end, and my knees always hurt the next day, and it is a mistake, but in the moment, people go crazy for it. So.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's not as easy doing karaoke as it once was, but gotta do it.
And is there any artist or band that you both would love to see this year?
For some reason, my mind went to Ariana Grande, but that's not true. I mean, I love her, but I'm not like dying to see her. I don't know. Can I be basic and just say I'm really curious about Taylor Swift's Eras tour, because everybody's blowing it up on social media, and I'm like, I kind of want to go now. And I'm not even a Swiftie.
Okay, but you just want to go.
Like I like her and I enjoy her music, but I'm not like, a diehard Taylor Swift fan. Concert makes me want to go.
Yeah, I know. Just because there's been such a furor over getting her tickets, I kind of am like, ooh, yeah. I'm curious now. We're seeing Beyonce later this year, which I know will be phenomenal because her last show at the Rose Bowl was incredible.
Oh, wow.
But also, honestly, like Olivia Rodrigo performs like with such ferocity. Every performance I see of hers like online, that I think she would be a lot of fun to watch in person.
Okay. And is there anything coming up for you both that you want to plug? I mean, we all know about the show, and is there anything else you want to plug that you're allowed to plug, or?
Would you like
to
go first?
Sure. Yeah. So yes, subscribe to the website opentoitseries.com, and you'll find out when the new episodes are coming out. If you feel that it's smut that you can't watch, good news, I also write a show for preschoolers. It's called Ocean Explorers, and it's on the Baby Einstein's YouTube channel. And it's very educational and sweet and fun. And, no animals were harmed in the making of this show.
That's a good thing you said that, in case someone watched and got mad that an animal was harmed.
It's animated, so I really hope they weren't, but I've been assured. So.
That's such a interesting here's this show about threesomes. Plus, I read a kids show.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
A girl
I
has
was
range.
laughing at
I love that. I have a show I was in, Marriage of Inconvenience, is finally on Deku. It's available now for you to stream. I play Lenny. Boy Culture finally found a home.
Awesome.
They're finalizing the contract, so I can't say yet, but it will be streaming
Okay.
after 84 years. And a short film I'm in, You Don't Know Jack, just got accepted into an Argentinian LGBTQ film festival, the LGBTQ plus Marseille Film Festival in France, and another one in Mexico City, all in June. And they are flying me out for all of them. First
Really?
class.
Oh my
No,
God.
no, they're not.
Rebecca's like, dang, that's a good short budget. I need to figure my life out.
Yeah, I was about to say, damn, okay.
There. So those are the three big things. Plus, hopefully, new episodes of Open to It.
Yes. Definitely.
Job security.
Seriously though.
And where could fans follow you both at?
Yes, I'm at frank.arthur.smith on Instagram and TikTok. The Instagram is a pretty defined brand of like Open to It and my fiance and Thirst Traps. The TikTok's being worked out. It's Open to It memes, but also today I talked about Power Rangers, and I also like might talk about like being a teacher sometimes. So, you know, like I said, it'll be entertaining and varied. I can tell you that much.
Mine is just all the same. It's Jason S. Caceres, no dots. And it's just me and my life.
All right. Sweet. And I saw some of your posts. You're a very good pole dancer too.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a different form of exercise that I have taken a liking to.
Yeah, I've been watching your videos. You're really good at that.
Thank you. I have the bruises to prove it. I'm bruised all over the place, literally.
Yeah, Jason's a great teacher. In episode 8, he and Victoria have a pole dancing scene, which again was inspired by real life. Jason's just great at having an interesting life and then being like, you know what we should do on the show? But
I'm also really happy that you've been so open to it.
Whoa, okay, there you go.
Yeah, 50 cents in the swear jar. But I'm pleased to say Jason has a fan, as I told him back in Boston, one of my high school classmates who does pole dancing and is very inspired by what he does. And so inspired is she that she has taught her son how to pole dance, and he now has to like pole dance before he falls asleep at night. It's like their ritual after bath time, which I
Oh my
love.
God, that's so awesome.
It's great exercise. It's like great upper body and ab strength.
Nice.
And when you do it with these oversized glasses as a child, it's just the cutest thing ever.
You need to send me those videos.
Well, guys, I want to thank you both so much for coming on. And Frank, it was good to meet you, and Jason, it was good having you back on again. Like, it's been a couple years since we last talked like this, so it was really fun to have you both on.
Thank you. This was a lot of fun. I hope to be back and one day maybe even talking about a horror project of ours. Who knows?
Ooh,
Exactly.
Mention out.
Jason will he'll probably talk me into not getting killed, even though his death would be very memorable, I'm sure, if we did it.
It must be. I will take nothing less. I can't die of morning death.
Only the bloodiest. Okay.
Thank you.
There you go. You know, I'm sure you both could come up with a really good like bloody scene.
I believe in us.
I was in a horror movie a year and a half ago and I didn't die. And I'm like, this is
all right.
That's right.
Tragic.
You didn't. I'm sorry.
I didn't die. I don't know when that's coming out either.
But you also weren't the killer, right? Or are you allowed to say?
I was not the killer.
But you did live. That's all that matters. as long as you lived, you're one of the ones that live in a horror movie, so that's always good.
Or did
Doesn't
I?
mean sequel.
There will be a sequel, according to the producer.
Okay.
Which you'll be
Okay.
in if you weren't the killer and didn't get killed at the end.
If he wasn't the killer, yes. Well, have a really great night. Once again, thank you both for coming on, and it was good to meet Frank, and it was good talking to Jason again.
Thanks, Rocco. This is awesome.
Thanks for having us. Yes.
All right. Have a good night.